Hello everybody, this is Jacob Hitler with the Jump Manual. Just wanted to give you guys a sequence of groin stretches and groin exercise that I've found to be extremely helpful for rehabbing and prehabbing groin injuries. So there's several exercises here. If you do them all, it's going to be quite a workout. What I would recommend is choosing the ones that you like best or that you really feel are most targeting your particular injury and your area of the adductors. And often it's even the hip flexors that are involved as we're all sitting around watching YouTube or watching videos. The hip flexors can also get tight and we can confuse that with a groin injury. So I also include things really for the whole hip structure, because if that hip is mobile, if it's loosened up, if you have an active range of motion in all of your hips, you're going to find that you're going to be less injury prone, not only in your groin area, but in your knees, in your calves, everywhere. So this is really great for your all-around hip mobility. It's something you can do after you're well and warmed up, as well as choose some exercises and do them throughout the day. I find it very handy to do the exercises throughout the day, especially the ones that you feel might relieve or help any tightness that you might already have. If you want to do the entire sequence, you can do it several times a week. You don't want it to interfere with the energy levels for your regular workout. And you also want to keep in mind that if you have a groin injury, a legitimate groin injury, you may not be able to do all these exercises. So you want to find the ones that you can do comfortably. Then you can perform those exercises as often as you can, really with the idea that you want to increase the blood flow to the area, which is going to increase the amount of platelets in the area and help you to heal faster. So hope you guys like these. If you have more that you like or that have helped you, please post them below in this video, so that we can help everyone out, and I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
These are several of my favorites. You want to get a towel or something and a kind of a hard, slick surface, and you're going to do these lunges all the way back, sliding back and feeling that stretch and strain through the hip flexors and into the groin. Then you want to turn your leg sideways so that you're really focusing more on the adductors and slide that leg back. You can slide it back, slide it forward, and then slide it completely sideways if you want, like I'm going to do here. And you can alternate that in several different patterns, but you're really going to feel the stretch as well as the strengthening as you pull your leg upwards and use your adducting strength to push your body back up. So I would do, again, 2 to 3 sets of 10, and really it's going to depend on the energy levels here, because this one can be pretty tough. Okay, here we're using a towel again, and we're going to go into the splits position, and the towel just allows us to further the stretch. And when we're at the edge of our range of motion, we're going to squeeze using that towel, and then try and allow ourselves to relax just a little bit into that stretch. So be careful, you don't want to just drop yourself into that stretch, because that's not going to be it's not going to feel very good. So this is something that you can do 3 to 4 sets of, and just try and get your range of motion extended, and also pull against the ground so you feel that tension in your Okay, this is in no particular order, and also you want to keep in mind that if you've had a severe strain and you're not able to do these exercises, you definitely want to ease into them and do only the ones that you can. But this is a simple exercise that you can take by using a pillow or Bosu ball, or really anything you can squeeze in between your legs or knees. And you can either pulse or squeeze and hold. So I would pulse 10 to 15 times, 3 to 4 sets, or squeeze and hold for 10 to 15 seconds, sets of 3 to 4. You can also hold the ball or your leg in the position that targets the particular angles that you're having trouble with in regards to your adduct. Okay, here's another simple but effective exercise, and the smaller the ball you use, the harder this exercise is, as well as the further down on the ball that you squeeze the ball to hold yourself up. So you want to get yourself in a position where your hips are basically at a neutral position, so you're standing straight up and your legs are underneath you, and you're squeezing the ball in order to stabilize yourself on the ball. So you're also going to have to use your balance in order to stay on top and not roll over. So you can even hold weight while you're doing this, but I would recommend easing into it as well. The instability really causes a lot of activation in the entire adductor and groin area. You can do this one 3 sets of 10 to 20 seconds. Here's another simple exercise. You can get a chair or anything to raise your leg upon, and you can roll your ankle to find the right position or where you think you might be tightest. And at this particular area, you would bend down and kind of adduct your leg against that chair and feel that stretch throughout your leg. You can do this in 3 sets of 10 to 15 seconds apiece. Okay, this one's actually a yoga pose. It's called the Cobra stretch. And basically all that you're doing, you want to make sure that you're squeezing your legs together. And what you're doing is you're stretching your abdominals, you're stretching your hip flexors, you're stretching your entire anterior chain, really. So get your head up, your chin up, and feel that stretch. And you're also going to feel some tension in the groin area. You can do this sets of 3, holding for about 15 to 20 seconds. Now this is what I would call a Cossack stretch or a Cossack squat. You can even hold weights while you're doing it. You're basically going to go all the way down to one side. You're going to want to keep your weight forward, and then you're going to stretch to the other side, and you're going to feel a nice stretch and a strengthening of your groin area in this. This might be hard for you, it might not, but you can work your way up to 3 sets of 10. Now we're doing some glute activation, so we're using bridges. Now you can do double leg bridges or single leg bridges. You want to make sure that your shins are going to be perpendicular to the ground at the top portion. This is going to keep you from using your quads too much and really be squeezing and activating those glutes as much as possible. The more control and activation you have over your glutes is going to help you move with more efficiency and really protect the hip flexors and groin from further injuries. 3 sets of 10 squeezes is plenty for this. It's a fairly basic hamstring exercise. So we're basically lightly, you don't want to do any violent bounces, but we're kind of lightly stretching the hams in all of the range of motion that you have in front of you. So you're going from one leg to the middle to the other leg and back. And so this is something you can do throughout the day even, and keep yourself nice and stretched. Again, 3 sets of 10 seconds apiece would be fine here. Okay, here's another fantastic exercise to really stretch out the quads and hip flexors and the entire area. I'm going to get your knee on something soft and padded and flex the glute of the back leg and kind of thrust that hip slightly forward, creating an obtuse angle at the hips. And you're really going to feel a stretch through the quad and through the hip flexors. So this is something else that you can do for each leg, 3 sets, holding each one about 10 to 15 seconds. Another simple exercise, this time you're squeezing the ball and taking it through a range of motion. So you can do this 3 sets, and again, you can do about 10 reps of it. Now here are some front leg swings, and these can also be done side to side, but here are the front leg swings. You want to keep your leg straight and your toe kind of pointed back towards you. And you can do 3 sets of 10 each leg. Really try and increase the range of motion in the front and the back. Don't go too crazy with it. This is going to stretch out your glutes as well as stretch out your hip flexors and give you an active range of motion for those hips. That is a basic quad pull and something I'd recommend doing throughout the day, stretching out your quads and your hams. And really, I recommend not doing this once a day, but finding the exercises that you feel are making the best benefit for you and then doing those throughout the day so that you can increase the mobility and just the tissue quality of your injury or where you're trying to prehabilitate. So you're grabbing with the opposite leg, and making sure that you're going to be completely or even hyperextended at the hips and raise the opposite arm as well, so you get a full stretch through the anterior chain. This was known as a scorpion. You're going to go back and forth, alternating legs. I would recommend 2 sets of 10 on this. You're going to really feel a nice stretch through the hip flexors.
This is a great glute piriformis stretch you can do from the sitting position. You can hold this for 10 to 20 seconds and do it 3 times.
Here's a simple one I call the crab stretch. You're basically going to sit India style and then bring your upper body down towards your legs, trying to get your nose into your feet. And then after that, you can kind of tuck your heels into your groin and feel a different type of stretch through the groin area. So you can do both of these 3 sets of really 10 seconds apiece, focusing on a good quality stretch. 3 sets of 2 to 3 sets of 10 leg hugs, and really you're squeezing your leg kind of towards the opposite shoulder and squeezing it real close to the body. You're going to feel a nice stretch through the hips and through the glutes. So you're going to go down to the splits and kind of go back and forth between a hurdler's type of stretch and a splits type of position. And I find that this really gets the entire, the hip flexors and the groin, just really loosens the entire area up as well as strengthens it. So you can do as many repetitions as you feel would be necessary, I'd recommend 2 sets of 10 on this one. This is type of a squatting groin stretch. So you're going to squat down and use your arms to push your legs out and feel the stretch in the groin area. I would get into this position 2 to 3 times and hold it for 10 to 15 seconds. And this exercise, you're not only going to feel the stretch through your groin, but you're going to get some torso mobility as well. So I would go back and forth like this 10 to 15 times, 2 sets. If you can sit back on your heels, but you might need, as I am here, to roll forward just a little bit onto your toes. So you lay back into a hurdler stretch, kind of ease back into it, and you're going to feel the stretch all along your quads and into your groin area. So you want to get into this position, hold it, flatten out your back, and you can do this for 2 sets of 10 to 15 seconds apiece, and repeat with the other side as well. Here we're doing some bodyweight sumo squats, and the wider angle puts more of the pressure and more of the tension into the groin and the adductors. So this is something that you can help to increase blood flow to the area as well as strengthen the area. And you can do 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15. Simple exercise. Call it the windmill, call it the helicopter, call it the goofy swing, whatever you want. But what we're doing here is we're at a stretched position, and we're just going back and forth from leg to leg, feeling the stretch through our groin as well as through our hamstrings. You can do this 2 sets of 10 to 15 revolutions. Then we're going to do a lunge position and do a real wide lunge, almost getting our back leg straight. We're going to put our hand on our front leg and stretch out our torso as well. Feel that stretch throughout our torso as well as in our groin. You can do this 3 to 4 sets and holding that position for about 10 seconds apiece.